Swami Satchitananda here. I want to spend a little time on this aspect of stress. Okay, of course, everybody is talked about it. A lot of people are talking about it. Many remedies, therapies, all these are being talked about. And still, I would like to talk on this because I think there's space for that also. Today, we are living in a system in which says the more stressed you are, the more competent you are. The more stressed you are, the more you can do. The faster you walk, the quicker you can achieve your objectives. These are all false directions. You go to New York City today and you try to come out from the tube onto the main road. If you are walking in a normal step, you will get bashed up because people from the left will be moving at tremendous speed and the right will be moving at tremendous speed, and you will feel scorched up. You cannot walk on that road because people are moving so fast. Is it a value that we really need to pursue is one question, because all this development question, all this improvement question, all this better life question is also about stress life question. Okay? So what do you really want to pursue? So stress is very natural process of the economic conditions and the other conditions in the environment that has been created for us. And this stress condition goes down to the school. I remember a mother coming up to me and telling me, Swamiji, can I want some help from you. I said, sure. My daughter, I'm not able to manage her at all. I would like to bring her and can you talk to her? I said, sure, bring her. So she brought this child. This child is about 6 years old, 6.5 years old, maybe in second class in school. And she says, Swamiji, look at this girl. She has got only 92%. And I'm telling her again and again, to get her 100%, 99%, she doesn't get it. Because if you don't get 99% today, she won't get admission into any college. No engineering, no doctor, nothing she can become. And she's not listening to me. What should I do? So stressed she was. So I asked the child, I said, you're listening to what your mother is saying? I said, yes. So what do you think? I said, she's always stressed like this. Our teachers are also very stressed like this. So are you doing your best? I said, yes, I'm doing my best. Can you get 99%? Yes, I can get 99%. Then okay, if you can get 99%, you do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about other people. You just do whatever you're doing, but do your best. That's all. Don't wait for somebody else to tell you what is the best for you. And I left it at that. She was very disappointed with me. She said, what kind of guidance are you giving? Which is the child become a nobody. Now you can imagine the mindset of a mother of a child which is just 7 years old. Okay, take it through school, take it to college, take it through work. What are you left with? You are left with something which is today we use a general word for it called a mental disease, which is driven by stress, and it is valued by the society. That is the beauty of it. Okay, it is valued by the society. So in such a circumstance, you have to make a choice of what you're doing, whether you really want to get into this wheel or you want to work a little bit outside of it, or if you're working inside it, how should you work inside it? These are the basic questions you have to deal with. Okay. Today people are saying at 35 I want to retire, 40 I want to retire, put up my legs and I will rest, retired life. Now, can a person retire and put up the legs and live for 20, 30, 40 years without doing anything? It's so foolish. Because they are totally washed out. They're dead by the time they're 35, 40. They lost all the energy. They're exhausted with life. And still they have not even children, are still young, still go to school. Children still go to college. So, what do we do with this issue? Okay, this is where I think our traditional systems have helped a lot. The yoga part of it and the pranayama part of it, which most of you know, is really not only about the body, it's also about to relax the mind. Okay. If it is only the physical posture, if you do it as a physical exercise, then you don't know yoga at all. The idea of yoga is that through the body you are approaching the mind to calm it down. Okay. If the body is calmed down, then slowly the mind also will calm down through yoga, pranayama, meditation, and so forth, whatever is there. The Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Okay. It is to my mind a very powerful pathway for dealing with stress. Okay, a very powerful pathway because it tells you clearly what you have to do, and if you do that to a large extent, you will be able to manage it. Now, people ask, suppose I don't manage it, suppose I just leave it like that. I say, okay, let it happen as it happens, and I don't manage it. Stress which is building over time. What happens to you? See, stress is something you cannot say, let it be there, because it will expose itself, it has to show itself, and it has to be satisfied in some way. The stressed body, the stressed mind has to be satisfied in some way. So simply you are saying that no, time will pass, I'll be okay, is not the solution. So what happens to that? People take to drinking, people take to drugs, people take to all kinds of other perverted activities because it gives them a relief. It gives them some place to go outside this stressful life. Okay? And you can't say I won't deal with it. You have to deal with it. And this is the way we are dealing with it. You see today many societies drinking is no more a dinner drink or a thing like that. It's a daily shot you must have. Okay? Both sometimes evening, sometimes morning, sometimes throughout the day. So with that kind of society which we are living around us, you are creating a dependency on things like this. And people are very vulnerable. You may think you're very strong, but you're very vulnerable. Given the wrong kind of people around you, you will fall into it unless you are very, very strong. So the mind has to be resolved in something. So if the stress is there, you try to suppress it. You cannot suppress it. People think I'm suppressing it, but actually they are not suppressing it. They are keeping it with them and then trying to cope with it through these other dependencies. And coping has to be done. If you don't cope up, what will happen? Then you'll go onto a mountain and fall off it, or go to a river and jump in it, or do whatever. You have to cope up with it one way or the other. If you say, no, I don't have to deal with it, it's not possible. Understand that first thing. So in this context, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Ashtanga Yoga, 8 steps, are a very dynamic pathway for dealing with stress. My only request to those of you who are doing yoga, please understand, yoga I am talking about asana. Please understand it is not a physical exercise. Now I don't know when you will understand that. Alright, your body is looking good right now, sure. But is it going to be looking like that 10 years from now or 20 years from now? Simply because you do yoga? No guarantee at all. Even the teacher of yoga, Swami Devananda, whose name the Shivananda organization, Shivananda Vedanta organization runs worldwide centers. He had quite a difficult death, and he was a master of yoga. So that is not guaranteed. So what requires to be done is you have to take that same, try to see now how do you use the yoga and the physical exercise that you are taking, how do you take it to a higher level, whereby the stress you are developing every day, there is something to cope up with, that has to de-stress you on a daily basis. If you just leave it for 1 week, it becomes very bad, because what you say, God only will know. What you tell your partner, God only will know. What you tell your children, God only will know. What you will tell your friends, God only will know. Because you become like a monster. You don't know it, but others know it. So, the thing is that give importance to the value systems in the yamas and niyamas. Okay? That is the fundamental thing. Because if you lead a untruthful life, if you lead a life which is not based on values, and you think that you can manipulate the values to your own life, that is not going to happen. Okay? So understand those values. Those are values. We call it laws of the universe. If they don't work, the society will not work. Society will not work, you cannot work. So these are universal laws. It got nothing to do with modernity, ancient, nothing like that. It is ever modern. It is ever ancient. Can anybody say that what Moses picked up from the 10 Commandments which he picked up, they are only for that time, not relevant today? No, because they are values, and those values were given because somebody told them this is the value you have to live your life with. So that somewhere we have made a big compromise on that, and we are thinking that by doing yoga, peace of mind will come. Nah. Bad wicket. So you have to live a life which is meaningful, which means value based. Only that value based life will help you build relationships, stay in a partnership, grow the children in the right way, have respect for your parents, have a relationship with your brothers and sisters, and do well in the work that you're doing. Because if you are a value oriented person, naturally the work that you do will be very, very different kind of work. So that is the basis and fundamental. After that, you've got the asanas, which you know already. I want to go into that. Then you got the pranayama, which is the management of the energy. But that is a pathway to the mind. Why do we say yoga is a body and mind exercise? Because asanas is not the pathway to the mind. It's the pranayama which is the pathway to the mind. Because as the control of the prana has been done so as to be able to manage the turbulence of the mind. If you understand this relationship, then you will put little more emphasis on pranayama. No? You will put little more emphasis on pranayama, and you will try to see that the mind is rested somewhere. Technology is available for that, right? And you have to do it. There is no other way out of it. So focus little more on the pranayamas also as you are doing. Of course, the third part is after pranayamas is done, the rest of it is only about meditation. The 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th are all got to do with only meditation and management of the mind, management and control of the mind. Pratyahara, withdrawal, right? Then dharana, the concentration, dhyana, meditation, and samadhi, which is the extended state of thoughtlessness. All these 4 steps out of the 8 steps have got to do with meditation. Now, have you really approached that topic seriously as a yogi is my question. Have you really tried to do meditation is my question. Are you fooling yourself in this matter? Because when I see people and they come to me and they say, yes, Swami, we are doing meditation. And the moment I speak to them for 2-3 days, I know that their meditation at best is very shallow. At best. At best is just pratyahara. So you have to go behind and you have to get into the dharana, concentration and dhyana in a much more serious, systematic way with some guidance. If you are not getting the guidance, don't think you can get it in the net. Right? Net has everything. But because that has everything doesn't mean you have everything. Net is not worried whether how to do it, what to do it. They are not worried about that. And for each person, this method of doing varies. So one that is applicable to one person need not be applicable to the other person. One may take faster, one may take longer. So it all one is more stressed because of traumas from childhood. One may be able to pass through faster because those traumas are not there. So the thing is that the serious approach to meditation in the steps that have been given is the only recourse for a person. Forget about spirituality now, right? I'm not talking spirituality. I'm talking about only stress. so that you are able to cope with the stress coming tomorrow, so that you are able to cope with the stress that has come today. If you follow that, it will help you to remain contained within yourself, diffuse the stress to some extent, keep you away from these addictions. Okay? I know many yogis, for some time they will say, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. They are going on living and fast, they are going on fasting, they are going on silence and all that. After some time, they again go back to their original format. Slowly, slowly, they will go back to the original format. So this cannot be. Okay. And you cannot say one thing in yoga and you cannot live a life which is different from that. Yoga life has to be lived. It's not to be talked about. It's not to be done in a classroom. You have to live that life. There, I think there are big vacancies there, and big areas of concern, and you should little more focus on those areas. Okay, all these are available. Technology is proved. It's a technology. It's not. It's a science. It's not an art. All these are accepted now. So what you have to do is you have to be able to tell yourself that come hell high water, I will sit for a particular number of hour or an hour or 45 minutes or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, anything every day, at least twice a day. One before you go to work, one after you come back from work. One before you start your rajasic activities, one after you have finished and exhausted with that. This will help you contain yourself. Okay. There are of course many other issues we can talk about so far as stress is concerned, but with respect to yoga, I think this is enough. So it is not, we are not talking about spirituality here. We are talking about living good life here and now. Okay. One last question. Do you think the amount of stress is going to increase in the future or decrease in the future? It will only increase. All of you know that. You don't require a computer to calculate and tell you that it is going to be even more. Then all the more, why this known technology cannot be used well? Used but and used well is the question. Hari Om. That's it.